because I want to know what's going on. A lot of people, some of our brothers and sisters in New York, don't like the title of this topic tonight, but we're going to discuss it. We're going to talk about it. Shout out to my people over there on YouTube. All my people coming on YouTube tonight, make sure you go ahead. If you have not subscribed to the channel, make sure you like, share, leave a comment, all that good stuff. For my people over here on X, do the same thing. Go ahead and retweet the space out, leave some comments. Come on up here and speak. Everybody wants to hear what you guys got to say. We're going to be discussing tonight. Did Black New York give Latinos an N-word pass for decades? You know, and this is not something that just popped up yesterday or 5 years ago or 10 years ago or 15 years ago or even 20 years ago. I'm talking about going back to the 90s. You know, has Black New York, because every time we talk about this discussion, I know a lot of our New York people say, hey, you know what? Well, up here in New York, we're, everybody lives together. It's the melting pot. It's this and it's that or whatever. I guess as a way of saying, you know what? Yeah, people say the N word up here. You know, non-Black people, especially Latinos, call us the N word. But, you know, since we've been living together for the past 50, 60 years, it's cool because we all share the same culture and this and that or whatever. And I think that's how we kind of got in that topic with the hip hop situation that you got right now going on as well, too. Black New Yorkers, quite a number of them are standing 10 toes down on this, saying that, hey, you guys don't understand our culture up here. You can't speak on our culture because you don't live up here. You guys live in segregated areas and everything else. And, you know, they're part of our community and this and that or whatever. I know in some instances, not all, but in some instances, you got people that, okay, let's say you do grow up in the same project building or the same neighborhood, the same borough of New York. I think in certain cases, in certain instances, that you have a lot of Black people also that's up in the New York area that have also intermarried, had kids, and they feel a certain way about, hey, addressing this topic, like, hey, you're gonna ruffle some feathers, of some people that might be in my family as well too. But it's like, hey, we're not here to ruffle feathers. We're saying that, hey, take Fat Joe for instance. Fat Joe has been told for a good while now, hey man, stop saying nigga this, nigga that. And he doubles down. He says, I'm gonna say nigga as much as I want to say. And when you talk to some of the people, you say, well, hey man, why are y'all allowing this disrespect up there in New York? People, and a number of these people, and I've had people on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, come to me and say, hey, you're being divisive because you're sitting up here talking about another fellow minority, and people sitting up going as far as saying that Fat Joe is also a Black man and this and that. Fat Joe is never identified as a Black man. And don't sit up here and say that you got a drop of Black in you and that all of a sudden you identify with being Black or whatever. And people talking about this and that or whatever. And I'm like, wait a minute. Fat Joe is a white Latino. Fat Joe's a white Latino that you guys are allowing to call him nigga this, nigga that or whatever. So, I mean, he's not even a Black Latino. He's a white Latino. So it's not like this is actually somebody that you can say is a melanated Hispanic or Latino or whatever. I mean, Fat Joe, if we saw those old pictures of him when he was coming up as a kid, when he had the little mushroom cut bowl, this dude looked like he from Scotland with that red hair. And you sitting up here talking about that this dude shares the same he shares the same DNA as I share? I don't think so. I think we got a major issue right here. And we got us a speaker coming up here. So we have somebody coming up here. We're going to get to you. Looks like it's a Spanish Dominican King. This ought to be interesting as well, too. I want to hear what Spanish Dominican King has got to say about it. Let me know.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Hey, what's going on tonight?
Yeah, what's going on there? Good topic. I just want to post in the Jumbotron real quick a picture of Pitbull. Pitbull is a Cuban American who has also said the N-word, but he's from Miami. So you guys like to pick on Fat Joe, but in my opinion, I think Pitbull and many other Latinos and Hispanics say the N-word a lot as well. And
then he should get called out too. I don't say
the N-word because I just think that it's kind of vulgar. And when I'm in public, I like to hold myself to a high standard. I don't want people to think that I'm ghetto or I'm rip rap, so I avoid using the word. I avoid using the N word. But I know other Hispanics who were raised in that type of environment. They grew up in the hood, and that is just part of their everyday lingo. But I don't say it. Thanks.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate you for coming up here. Let me ask you a question. Um, because I know you say pit bull, and I'm here in Florida. I grew up I lived in North Florida and South Florida. So I've seen the size of it. Now up in New York, you guys, I know you guys, it's a little bit different the setting here. In Florida, for the most part, in our neighborhoods, it's predominantly black. You may have a sprinkle of white people here, a sprinkle of Hispanics, but it's never been even in our neighborhoods. It's always been predominantly black where we stay at down here in Florida. Now, Miami, I've never lived in Miami. I got some friends in Miami now. Growing up in the 90s, I was cool with some Puerto Ricans from Brooklyn. They came to Fort Lauderdale and whatnot. We kicked it or whatever. But one time you had a couple of Puerto Rican homeboys say, hey, because back in the day, you had a lot of black people, black Americans call each other dog, what's up, dog? And even say, what's up, my nigga? And you had one of the Puerto Rican cats say, you know what? He had beef with a black dude, and he's like, hey, F all you my niggas. And it took me to go ahead and stop my homeboy from jumping on him and beating his head in, because we didn't look at that and say, hey, we didn't grow up with y'all calling us niggas. Now, like you say, you said New York and you said Pitbull and this and that or whatever, but let's be honest. It would have been Trick Daddy and it would have been the rappers in Miami that gave an okay for him to go ahead and say, nigga this and nigga that or whatever. For the most part, growing up, if somebody said nigga, be it Puerto Rican, white or whatever, you had an issue. And most Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Cubans in South Florida, I know they ain't never come up and say nigga this and nigga that. So, I know people are saying it's the culture and it's this and it's that or whatever, but I guess it's also where you live at as well too. And what I'm saying is that since really the 1960s or whatever, when Puerto Ricans started coming in large mass, Puerto Ricans moved into black neighborhoods. Black people didn't move into Puerto Rican neighborhoods. Puerto Ricans moved into black neighborhoods. So all this whole thing is that, hey, we live together, this and that. Well, yeah, I understand it, but black people was there first. So it had to be the black people up in that area that okayed it, that say, it's okay, it's this or that or whatever, because we can look at some of the actual music in the 70s. We can listen to some of the music in the 80s. And not only that, the black exploitation movies in the 70s. Well, we know they dropped the nigga word all the time. You didn't see Puerto Ricans in these movies saying nigga this, nigga that. You didn't see Puerto Ricans in rap music in the late 80s, even as gangster rap started to kind of rise up. You didn't see them or any movies talk about, hey, what's up, my nigga? Hey, nigga, what's up, this, nigga, that, whatever. You didn't even see it on Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing when you had Radio Raheem walking with his boombox in the neighborhood and the Puerto Rican dudes was listening to their music. They ain't say, hey, nigga, don't come over here. Hey, my nigga, don't come over here. It was none of that. So in the 90s is when this whole vernacular started to change, when the acceptance and everything started to come to as more, you start getting more gangster rap and everything else or whatever in the music or whatever. And of course, like I said, before even the gangster rap, I understand that y'all lived next to each other. So, you were having those conversations and everything else like that. But I can clearly tell you in most areas in the South, Latinos aren't walking around or Hispanics aren't walking around calling us nigga as a term of endearment. If they call you nigga, it's something offensive, and then, something generally pops off. But go ahead, Spanish.
So let's take a step back and let's ask ourselves this question. Why even say it in the first place? If you look at what the word came from, white people use that word to humiliate black people and to discriminate against them. So why even say it in the first place, regardless of your race or your ethnicity or nationality? I don't think it's a purpose to say it in the first place anyways.
Well, if you want to go back and look at it, the word has always been used. Black people at one time, and you're right, it wasn't until the really black people used to call other black people nigga and stuff like that when they thought that a person was ignorant and they thought the person was a danger to the race or whatever, they would call them nigga. Somewhere along the lines in the late 60s and the early 70s, you started having the black exploitation movies and stuff like that, and it started to seep into the culture that way. With that said, though, here's the thing. Not all black people want you to call them nigga either. I mean, even though you have a lot of young black people and black people, middle-aged black people, and everything else that say nigga this, nigga that, black nigga has never been 100% acceptable in the black in black American culture. I just want to get that there are a bunch of black people in this country that don't call each other nigga, just like there's a bunch of black women in this country that don't address each other as bitch. Like, hey, bitch, how you doing? Like, it's so we can't sit up here and say, yeah, there's a certain demographic of black people that will say nigga this, nigga that, but there's a bigger group of black people that don't even say that. And that kind of gets downplayed because you hear in the music and you see in the movies and everything else like that. Because I can tell you, as being a teenager and stuff, hanging out and stuff like that, saying nigga this, nigga that, or whatever. When I came home, I knew not to say that and talk like that in front of my mom and dad because it was going to be a problem. The same way we wouldn't sit the same way when we used to, crack on each other and talk about people mammies and this and that or whatever. Well, you better not let one of our mamas hear you sitting up here calling another woman mammy because you would have had an issue or whatever. So on that note, it's never been 100% acceptable, even to this day. There are black people to this day do not want you to call them a nigga, and there's some black people that if you call them a nigga, you may have a problem with them. And I'm talking about a black person to another black person. Forget white person or Hispanic, or whatever. You got some black people tell you, hey, man, don't call me nigga. I'm not no nigga. Don't call me nigga. So I get what you're saying. Why was it ever acceptable or whatever? You got to go back to like the late 60s, early 70s. But the thing is right here, I'm going to ask you this question. Fat Joe was told not to call black people nigga on multiple occasions, but yet he still did it. Can you explain to me why Fat Joe is still saying nigga this, nigga that?
My assumption is that he grew up singing for so long, and then all of a sudden now later in life, later in his career, now all of a sudden he's putting the brakes on him. He's probably wondering why now. Why wasn't I stopped 10, 15, 20 years ago when I was a teenager? So he probably thinks that he's gotten away with it for so long that the ones who are telling him to stop saying it now are probably like far fringed minorities that care about it. But he probably thinks that the ones who tell him to stop saying it now are just not really relevant.
Well, here's the thing. Fat Joe made his money off of black culture. So let's just let's just keep it in a nutshell. Fat Joe became a rich man, a wealthy man off of the culture and the music that black people laid before him. So the black people, as a group, and black people didn't have a problem accepting him or Big Pun or Cypress Hill or whoever, Latino, Hispanic, into the actual mix. Black people have never had an issue accepting anybody into their actual music culture. So if black people say, you know what, Joe, we're the reason really that you popped off, and yeah, you get, you know what I'm saying, you got Latinos and Puerto Ricans buying your music and stuff like that, but we were the ones that got you over. We was the ones that made it acceptable. Big Pun will tell you that on the recording. Big Pun was like, hey, it was the black people that opened up the doors for us. So if black people sit down and say, you know what, Pun, and if a group of black people, it ain't got to be all the black people in the world, it ain't got to be all the black people in New York. If black people get together and say, you know what, Fat Joe, we want you to stop calling us nigga. Don't you think he should do it? Because if he was making something offensive about Jewish people, and I bet you Jewish people say, you know what, we don't want you to call us this anymore, Fat Joe. And Fat Joe, if he told the Jewish people, hey, you know what, I'm going to do whatever I want to do. I'm going to call you this, I'm going to call you that, I'm going to call you that. There would be an issue and there'd be repercussions. Same with Fat Joe. Let's be for real. A lot of rappers back in the 90s and stuff, in the 2000s as well too, used to always make references about gay people and homosexuality and call them the F word and everything else like that as well too. Hell, we see movies and stuff now that they bleep that out, that you can't call a homosexual, a gay person, the FAG word. So my thing is this right here. If black people sit up here and they say, you know what, Fat Joe, that's enough. Because listen here, you're hosting BET Awards, even though BET is not owned by black people. You're hosting BET Awards. You're getting all of this love and this and that or whatever. We made you more relevant than your own community made you relevant. Don't you think that he should listen and speak and go ahead and do what the people are saying?
Oh yeah, he should definitely do. He should definitely listen. As a matter of fact, he shouldn't have been singing in the first place, but he's a part of that industry, And the difference, and you use an example, you were talking about, if the Jews told you to stop using a derogatory term against Jews, they'll probably stop. But the difference is that you don't really see the average Jewish person referring to themselves and others as the K word either. And that's one of the reasons why you don't see a lot of Hispanics call themselves the S word. You don't hear us calling each other spigs. It's just not a part of our vocabulary. It's not a part of our lingo. But unfortunately, if black people, if you guys want others to stop saying the N word, you guys are gonna have to stop saying it as well. That's the hard, cold truth fact.
But here's the thing, though, and like I get what you're saying to a certain degree, but you're still not black. Now, I don't care if you have a black grandmother or a black grandfather, whatever. You're still not black, and you're not part of black culture as well, too. So, black people took cracking on each other and making jokes about each other to an art form that produced comedians and made them into multimillionaires and stuff like that. The pains and trauma that they took off of those plantations, they took that and they were able to go ahead and reshape it and everything else like that. So here's the thing: if black people say, you know what, we want you to stop. We're the reason that you're relevant. We're the reason that you got money, this and that, or whatever. Chill. But you're right to a certain degree. It's the people, and that's why I made this title. Did Black New York give Latinos an N-word pass for decades? Because you're not getting that whole N-word pass throughout the entire country. You can sit up here and you can come to Florida, and like I say, Florida used to be considered the my dog, my nigga state, and all this other stuff right here. But a lot of times, somebody like Fat Joe would have came running around, and he came around and talk about nigga this, nigga that. People would have been looking at him like he was crazy, like, hey, what's up? So that's my thing right there. I'm gonna go ahead and get to a couple of the a couple of the speakers up here. Genocentric, and then I got you, Carrie. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got a question. Like, I think what it is like like the music you go around and you hang around with, right? If somebody, because this is what happens, like if in a junkie way, like if a black person.
Hey, you got a headset on? Do you have a headset on?
No, I'm on Bluetooth.
Okay, can you take it off Bluetooth and put it on speaker?
Yeah, can you give me like 10? Like I can go down this. Give me like 10 minutes because I'll come back and get on maybe a better quality.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Carrie, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Oh, thanks. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you. How you doing?
Okay, great. I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
I guess my Spanish was my message. My question was for Spanish. Are you implying that if we change our behavior on something, whatever that happens to be, that other people will heed our words if we ask them to stop doing that thing, or I'm unsure what the connection of our behavior would be to Fat Joe's behavior, for example.
Oh, what I'm trying to say is that you can't have your cake and eat it at the same time. If you want people to stop using a derogatory word that was designed to humiliate you, and then now you're trying to gatekeep it, and you want other people to stop using it, then you're gonna have to stop using it yourself as well as a collective whole.
How would they have any assurance that we had stopped using that word, and it doesn't have to be to someone's satisfaction before they go ahead and stop using the offensive word?
I'd assume that eventually people will start noticing that, hey, I've been listening to all this hip hop music, I've been watching all these TV shows, I've been hanging around black folks all this time, and I don't hear the word no more. They'll probably start noticing after a few years.
So we have to wait for them to notice this thing. It could be a few years, if they're still using that word. And okay, that's all. Thanks.
All right, thank you, Carrie. DJ was up, he must have dropped down. Go ahead, original, you got it.
Yeah, Newstoter. This don't have a damn thing to do with which words black people call themselves. You have different ethnicities. They call one another pejorative words that are used against them. And I think I've shared this with you before, but let me say this. See, years ago when I lived in California, and I was on America Online, so it was like I was in one of these rooms, and it was like something political, and I was giving this white boy, white girl hell. So this Mexican or whatever he was, he gonna hit me up in private chat and say, "Oh, N-word, you told them off good." And I'm like, "What the hell?" And so what I said to him, this is how I responded. I said, "Well, it's a dirty job, but someone has to do it." And then I asked him if he was the S word for Puerto Ricans or the WB word for Mexican. And so he got, then he goes, "Why you acting like a white boy and asking me that?" I said, "Well, why you acting like a white boy calling me the N-word?" I said, "I don't play that." Now these people, they know what they're doing. See, again, they get around some of the stupid, some of the below stupid among us, and they think because they use it around them that it's okay to use it around everybody. But see, I don't play that, because if I saw Sloppy Joe, I would call him the S word wherever I saw him, and won't give a damn if he got pissed off about it. I don't have respect for anybody that don't have respect for me. And see, they want to see, just because they hang around some of the below stupid black people, they want to think they can use that just in general with all black people. See, I don't play that. And what was worse though, Newstoter, it was I told some below stupid black person, and they told me that, see, that's how stupid some of this crap is. They told me that I was wrong, that was a teachable moment. I said, "You got that right. It was a teachable moment, because once I called him those pejorative words, he saw at that point, I'm not the one to play with. See, I don't give a damn about these people. You gonna use the pejorative word on me, I'm gonna use the pejorative word on you. And I don't give a damn if you don't like it. What you gonna do?" See, that's how I roll. Now, see, again, this just like what's going on now with these Spanish-speaking people think that they created hip-hop 50-50 with us. No, they did not. I remember in the 60s here in Picnic Markham saying, "Here come the judge and who got the number?" And a lot of other stuff. No, and then on top of that, where is the damn remnants of hip-hop in their homeland? It's not there. It is here with Black America where it started. So no, miss me with that. "Oh, we stopped doing something," because you have, remember when Jesse Jackson used the H word for people of the Jewish belief, even some of them came out and said they called each other that. So to say that black folks got to stop doing something, that's a cop-out. That said that they want to go around and continue to call us this stuff, and they know all black people don't do that. They know this. But see, like I said, call me that if you want to. I'm going to call you a word, and we might end up in a fight or worse. Because I'm not playing around with it. You know, they always want to make these damn excuses. They know what, just like, see, here's the thing, Newstoter, just like this thing with the, who created hip hop. See, if you remember when Jim Crow Joe was on this call with these below stupid civil rights people like Al Sharpton, and he told them that they got to learn how to get along with the Hispanics. And I'm like, what the hell? Hell, we don't have to get along with anybody. We're going to do what we got to do for ourselves. But see, they allow these people to treat them this way, and then they expect us to follow them. But see, now that so many of us have delineated and we're doing our own thing, they don't know what to do. You know? And so, so I just look at it. And go, you know, if they want to play that game, we need to start calling them the pejorative words that they are called, and let's see how they like it. See, they're gonna get mad when you do that, because they're gonna tell you that you're wrong. Oh no, we're not wrong. If you're gonna call us a word, we're gonna call you a word. And I don't give a good a good damn if you don't like it. Because that's what I did when it was done to me. And that situation, it turned around real quick because they did not see no other group will allow black people to call them whatever pejorative word that is used against them. They're not going to do that. But these other groups feel that they have the right to say whatever, how black people speak to each other. You're not part of black culture. That's first and foremost. And you will never be a part of black culture. I don't care how much you try to fit in, you will never be a part of black culture. Because our culture is unique and distinct from every other demographic in this country. I mean, we are the first people in this country. There was nobody in this country before we got here. So, you can say whatever you want. I really don't care. But we are not, this is not on us. This is technically what this means, Newstoter. This is the hate that these people have for us. And like I said, they get around the below stupid, and the below stupid allow them to use it around them, so they think they in and they can just use it around anybody. I wish one of these folks would call me that, because I'm gonna call them. I have to find it, because I was doing a list one time where I was documenting all the pejorative words they used against other groups. And I got to find that, a recreate it or something. And I would go in and just do my motto is this: do unto others as they do unto you. See, this is why they're trying to clap in and say that they helped to create hip hop. No, you didn't. See what it is, Newstoter. They need to see how they keep saying America is a nation of immigrants. They want to make the Spanish-speaking people the so-called head of the immigrants. But see, they need something culturally to anchor them to this land. And who has the best culture in this country? Black Americans do. And that's why they're trying to steal hip-hop. And that microphone check put the brakes on them so bad they don't know what to do. But y'all can believe, y'all can use whatever. I'm gonna return that same damn favor to you, and I'll land so somebody else can come up.
All right, appreciate that, original. Professor, before I get to the speakers, you want to go ahead real quick?
Yes. For you, Spanish, I got 2 words for you, and I'm gonna end it at that. Mass deportation. There you go. That's what I have for you.
All
right, Professor.
All right. Thank you, Professor. Let me go ahead and get to Black Pressure. Now, Black Pressure, you're in the area, you're in Texas, so you're around a lot of Mexicans and stuff like that as well out there in that area as well, too. So I know you probably have something you want to speak on this. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
What up, Nose?
What's up now?
What's up, Black fam? So check this out. I'm in South Texas, so I got Mexican homeboys, right? No beef, no issue. I'm really, to be honest, I'm cool. Like, and this is my personal testimony. I'm cool with every Mexican dude I know. I'm cool with them. But I didn't plan to say this. What I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say this real quick. We had an incident at my job about a year and a half ago. Mexican cat from Houston got on the radio. Y'all call it walkie-talkie, but in the plain world, we call it a radio. Got on the radio and he dropped the N-word, right? So me and one of my partners from Lake Charles, we heard it. We went up to him with respect. We confronted him about it and we let him know, hey, I know that's how you came up. That's what, but if you like listen to Houston Mexicans talk, every other word is an N-word. I say, I get it. I say, man, we ain't talking about jumping on you. We still cool. But I say, from now on, don't use that word. And he respected that. But I'm moving on, right? Moving on from there. I got 2 things. So check this out. I get the dude Spanish. He dude sounds like he has a good heart. Sounds like he's a genuine dude. So this is not at him personally. This is aimed at his culture. This is aimed at his foreparents and his ancestors, right? I know we live in the Western world, and we have gotten ethnicity and race. That all that is intermixed with each other. Mexican is not a race, right? Dominican is not a race. Cuban is not a race. Those are ethnicities. A lot of Latino people or Hispanic people, whatever moniker you want to put on them, are related to Europeans. They're related to Spanish people. Some Latino people or Hispanic people are related to African people, right? So when like you hit it on the head. Fat Joe is a white boy. He is a white boy whose ethnicity is Puerto Rican. Period. So what if you look at that? If you look at their culture, and I've had Mexicans tell me this about their parents and grandparents. I've had Puerto Ricans tell me this about their They are anti-black by their culture. I'm trying to see what is their saying in Spanish. I can't remember it.
Blancaviento.
Not that. Hold on. What's the La Carrera? Yeah, I can't remember the first.
Oh, about purifying the race or something like that.
I know what it is, Black Passion. It's La Cucaracha. I mean, there's a bunch of them spreading every damn well disease and shit. La Cucaracha.
What's the What's the
I can't remember it.
How you say that in Spanish?
Oh, you're talking about Moreno?
Improve the race. How do you say improve the race?
Melaraza.
Yeah. Okay. They have that saying about us. When they're saying that, they want you to marry white people so you can lighten the race back up. This is old. All these people, and I'm not pointing out individuals. I'm talking about Latino and Hispanics as a group. As a group, not individuals. These people are anti-black, and that goes to when slave ships pulled up, when the conquistadors came. This is old, but I'm moving on from that. I don't have, this is not the space for that. I'm going to respect news. I'm going to respect the title, and we could talk about the relationship with black people and Hispanic people at another time. But I'm going to stick to the topic, the heading of the space. And I'm going to say this, and you know me, news. I'm going to say it. You cannot like it if you don't like it. What I will do with the black family, if you want to come and bite my head off, I'm not going to run. I'm going to stay here, and I'll call you into the middle of the ring, and we can go back and forth. New York, I'm talking about black New Yorkers, are guilty as charged. The niggas are soft. And this is nothing new about black New Yorkers. I'm going to dust off my broken record. Jason Black did a whole program saying why niggas in the rest, and I use the N-word. You not like it, but I use the word. Niggas in the rest of the United States don't like New Yorkers. Why we don't mess with New Yorkers. When he had that program, I second that emotion, and let me tell you why I say that. You look at black New Yorkers, right? If you look at Eric Garner, you look at a Kai Gurley, look at Sean Bell, I can keep going. I'm not going to disrespect anybody's intelligence, and all these black men killed by the police, cold blood. Niggas in New York didn't so much as set a barrel on fire. Nothing happened. It was business as usual after that shit happened. But if you know the history,
Don't forget the language, but go ahead.
what did I say?
You got it. Go ahead. You said shit, but go ahead.
Okay. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But look, when you look at New York, like I've said this before, right? I'll say it again, but dust off my broken record. They love attacking black people that accomplish things outside of New York. And I say this, me being from the South, I remember in the late 90s, when you had all the Southern rappers they started to outpace the artists and the rappers in the East Coast with album sales. What New Yorkers did, them niggas whack. They lame, they trash, they can't rap. And this is before they start beefing with us. They beef with the West Coast. Niggas out there trash. They can't rap. They whack. Everything is attacking another black person when it comes out their city. Like I said, you go to Vlad TV, right? Vlad TV interviews all of the ex New York street guys. Alpo is dead, but you got Supreme, and people know that history, and Fat Cat. You got Brian Gibbs. These niggas was killers. They were drug lords too, but killers. You listen to all the other street guys, even the rappers. A nigga from Brooklyn.
Uh-oh. Hold on 1 second.
When you, like Jason Black said, when you hear about Fat Joe and all these other Hispanic people using the N-word, them niggas from New York get up and defend them niggas. Now, you'll attack a black man. You'll attack another black man outside of New York and tell him how you feel about him. When black people come together and say, hey, New Yorkers, what y'all gonna do? They defend the white boy or the Latino dude. But this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do what Original said. I'm gonna mute up and listen.
All right, appreciate that. Thank you. Hold on, I'm gonna bring up somebody here too. I'm gonna start because we got a bunch of hands up too, guys. So if we get too filled up, DJ stepped out. So Original, I'm bringing you up here. Let me go ahead and get to Moku. Go ahead, Moku. You got it.
Hey, what's up, fam? Newstoter, Original Professor. WPI.
What's going on, man,
What's up now?
What's going on? What's going on, Ray? I'm gonna say, according to the evidence, yes, New York is definitely guilty as charged. As far as Latinos on a whole, I would have to incriminate some other states too. Florida.
Nah, you might be talking about Miami, but you ain't talking about the whole state of Florida. Trust me.
No, definitely not the whole state, but you know what state, you know what city I'm talking about, which is one of the most popular, MIA, and yeah, and they definitely get a little bit of this charge too. And I have to go as far as Cali. You know what I'm saying? Not all parts of Cali, but definitely the southern part, the parts of the main, a lot of parts of the Bay. You know what I'm saying? Parts near Tijuana, San Francisco. Yes, it's a lot of people that get that charge. New York is probably the one that gets the most because New York has 5 barrels that are guilty of this constantly. Me as a black man, my personal experience, I don't have any Mexicans say that shit around me. None of them. I don't know if it's
Language.
because I'm so dark skinned. Excuse me, Toto. I don't know if it's because I'm so dark skinned or I don't know. The look that I give, I don't really smile a lot. You know what I'm saying? I just recently got into smiling. You know what I'm saying? Like the last probably 8 months to a year. You know what I'm saying? Got into smiling. But it's a real serious issue. I think the first person that I heard use a slang towards them as far as like a derogatory slang, which I don't even understand what that means. But my little brother, we used to do asbestos removal, abatements. And they would have a lot of, Hispanics working on those jobs at that time. And this was back probably like early 2000s. And my brother was calling them. I can remember we were down in Kentucky when 9/11 happened. My brother was calling them wetbacks. And I was like, why are you calling them a wetback? He was like, cuz that's how they got over here. On the boat. They swam over here. So I was like, oh, wetback. They ain't like that too much when you call them that. Mexico or Haiti or anywhere where you had to get on a boat to get over here. I know that I think I heard a Mexican maybe refer to me as a moolie one time. That was back when I was elementary age. So, yeah, I've never been with any other race saying that to me. I know that one time I was at Home Depot and me and my eldest son was in there, and I had to stop him from physically damaging white person, suspected white racist, for calling me a nigger. And I just, calmed him down by saying, look, he just admitting that I'm a victim of racism, white supremacy. So my response to him is cut the check. And my son understood it, but he still wasn't happy with it. So, yeah, I land there to the title. Yes, New York is guilty.
All right. Thank you, Moku. Giancarlo, I'm going to get to you, and then Carrie, you're next, and then Ray, and then Genocentric. But I see you down there as well, too. I know you're leaving some comments. I know you from New York, so I know you probably feel a certain way. But if you want to speak tonight in the space, by all means, come on up here. Because I know I saw the tweet you were saying that everybody something about what did you just say? Something it stopped. It literally happens everywhere. Y'all just haters always have been, always will be. I'm telling you that it doesn't happen everywhere, because like you say, in New York, it's a melting pot and this and that. Florida's a melting pot as well too. Florida neighborhoods is all black growing up in Florida. Miami, I haven't lived in Miami. In Florida, and you can put your hand down, Giancarlo, because I know you that troll that Tariq be having up in the spaces as well too. So yeah. I don't care about no Spanish colony. You talking about 1580 something or whatever. I don't care about it. We talking about 2024. We talking about in modern times and stuff like that. Because it wasn't don't unmute your mic, mute your mic, Tito, mute your mic. Because you're not going to come up in here and run the show up in here. So I'm going to let you speak, Pablo, but you're going to be on your best behavior here, okay? Now go ahead.
No, I was just going to say to you guys, you think this is like a sensibility? Because, like Hispanics, like at least in the Northeast, I want to say, when they say the N-word, they don't say it like with the ER. And some of you are from the South, so I know like, you guys have a different dialect, like how you talk English. Like the dude, it's Burrows, not Barrow.
Well, it don't matter, because in the South you had white people that used to say the nigger, and we knew exactly what they was talking about. So it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Isn't it like a sensibility more?
Well, no, it's not a sensibility, because a nigger was still another way of saying nigger.
Well, I think you're pronouncing it wrong.
No, I'm pronouncing that. See, you don't understand our history. I'm telling you that white people in the South, after Reconstruction, when they couldn't just say nigger, they would say they would mash together Negro and nigger. They would say the nigra, the good nigra, the bad nigra. So I think you understand what I'm saying, but go ahead.
No, okay. No, I wanted to ask, like, you guys find offensive, like, Dominicans or like other black Hispanics, they'll say the black word, but in Spanish. So we say like moreno, some say cocolo. We have a word that's a Spanish created mulatto. Like, you don't find these words offensive, though, right? That's my question.
Well, I mean, we know the words. We know what the word nigga is or whatever, and you want to mix it in Spanish or whatever, it's still offensive. Now, if black people were to get on these, and of course they're not going to do it now because most of these artists are handpicked. But if a lot of these black rappers was to start saying spick and span and spick this and wetback and beaner and all this other kind of stuff like that, and be like, hey, what up, my spick? Because I had a cousin, I ain't gonna lie, down here in Lauderdale, and he was friends with a Puerto Rican, and when he used to see him, he would call him Spick. He'd be like, hey, what up, my Spick? What up, my Spick? Because my cousin didn't care. Now, my cousin wasn't the rule, because most people didn't just go around saying that. But my cousin was like, hey, and even when his homeboy had his big, swole, cocky Migo homeboy up there, he still called him Spick right in front of him. So when everybody's sitting up here talking about, well, in Florida, I know it's the same way in New York and this. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not anywhere like that except maybe Miami and some of these parts that's becoming predominantly Hispanic. Because growing up, and I grew up in South Florida, I grew up in the second biggest county, Broward County, in all of Florida. The county that's got well about 2-3 million people, probably close to it now. And people wasn't coming around calling us Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Cubans, wasn't coming up to us saying, "Hey, what's up, my nigga? Hey, what y'all niggas got going on tonight?" They most certainly were not. Now, maybe in New York and some of these other places y'all at, and parts of Miami, they were saying it, but a lot of in the 90s as well too. Because I had quite a few homeboys living in Miami. They weren't just running around calling them nigga this, nigga that either. So let's be for real, and let's also be real about this here too. Black people, the nigga started to explode in the 90s. So even though you had in the 70s, you started having to come into the because it was always in the vernacular, but it became mainstream. You had the black exploitation movies and all that stuff like that. It really started exploding in the late 80s, early 90s, when niggas started becoming part of the regular day vocabulary of a lot of black people and stuff in this country as well too. And like I said,
Just real quick, because it's on my mind. I apologize to all the Spanish-speaking people. I was looking for is mejor la carrera. What does that mean?
To improve your career.
No, you're spot on. It's mejor la raza. That's what Mexicans say. I forgot what you mean, but to touch on that term, sir, there's a lot of black Brazilians that feel that way. Like they want a white. This is maybe because of lack of education, or maybe lack of travel to understand this. But like in Latin America, it's your own people, just they're Spanish, but
no, dude, that's your people. That's your people. That even in Cuba and stuff like that. That was your people going back to Europe because those islands and places started getting so black and stuff like that, and they had to try to whiten it out, dude. What are you talking about? So Muhammad Ali had a white girl. That's what you're saying? Oh, so LeBron James has a white girl, right? So and let's Juan Carlo, you wouldn't even be alive if it wasn't for white blood and indigenous blood and a little bit of black blood as well too. So let's not sit up here and and your women, they date more white men than anybody. So what are you talking about? Even though they're classified like Precious said, you guys are a mixed race, but your women go straight for European. So what are you talking about? And your men, what are you talking? And your men go straight for white women.
Years, spick and span. When y'all gonna sue them?
And this is maybe the low IQness of you guys, because you guys like calling us Mexicans. That doesn't offend us because we know our ethnicity, we know our.
Hey, man, what you mean low IQ?
Why people are gonna keep saying that word
In Spain.
What the fuck you mean low IQ?
Oh, don't drop no F-bomb. Don't drop an F-bomb. You can handle this dude without dropping the A. Don't drop any F-bombs up in here. Giancarlo, listen, because I hear Tariq Spaces online. I don't catch him live, but I hear his Spaces online. I hear you in there trolling. I know you're the no. You're not a real. You're a mix. You're a white Latino. That's what you are. Your blood is mixed. And before the conquistadors came over here, your people didn't exist. So that's what you are, dude. You're white Hispanic with Indian blood and Negro blood too. Y'all like to hide the Negro blood, but then when you see an opportunity to actually get something, then all of a sudden you talk about having black in you as well too. So that's what you are. And you're sitting up here talking all this noise about low IQ, this and that, or whatever. But dude, your country is a damn third world country, and it's a drug haven. It's a human trafficking resting spot and everything else like that. That's why your people booked on the first thing smoking and came over here. So Giancarlo, while you're in the Newstoter space, we like to thank you for coming up. But once again, I know you probably got some beans to pick, so I'm going to go ahead and let you go ahead and get your bushel, so you can make sure and make your quota for the day, and make sure that you got some black beans too, because that black beans and that yellow rice, that is to die for, son. So thank you for coming up here and playing tonight. And as on roots, what Fitler said to Kunta, grits dummy, it's time for you to go eat. So now you may go. Thank you, Giancarlo. All righty. Miss Carrie, go ahead and unmute your mic, sweetie.
Okay. Operation Wetback was a immigration initiative that was started in 1954, and they eventually repatriated, and these are citizens as well. 1 million plus Mexicans were returned back to Mexico, and so that word was an official word. So I wouldn't call somebody that. I think that it's a derogatory word, but it is, just like they like to say alien is derogatory now. Well, that's also an official word, and it's in the law. And they want to try and educate us, but they're the least educated people in the country. The average level of education of the people coming over the border now is 5th grade. And when Joe Biden said that we had to work with the Latinos, I don't know what that means. But if they wanted us...
You still there, Carrie? Hey, Carrie, are you there?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you had went out for a second, but go ahead. You were talking about what Joe Biden wanted us to work, but go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I wanted us to work with them. They better separate that black and brown stuff, especially in the education, because their children is the reason why, at least in California, why our kids are not reading and or getting the attention that they need in the classroom. Yeah, that's it. Thanks.
All right. Thank you, Carrie. I got to read a comment from YouTube. Manny Andres, or whatever your name is, says, damn, y'all brothers sound prejudiced as F, but smile on our faces when you love effing our women. Laugh out loud. Manny, my friend, please. Y'all sound prejudiced as hell. You came to this country and benefited off the civil rights movement. Smile on our face, listen to our music, get into our culture. And the minute we turn our back, you talk about nigga this, nigga that. So spare us with all that two-faced talk that you're talking about. Let me give a shout out to Coach TP. Let me give a shout out to Coach TP for the contribution on Cash App as well, too. Let me go ahead and get to Ray. Yeah, go ahead.
Tell that guy, we like curves, not a box. They got that box look. We looking for curves.
I think he heard you. He heard you. Go ahead, Ray. You got it.
What's going on, family, man? It's good to hear from y'all this year, man. I've been pretty quiet. But yeah, like Original said, they like us. They the ones that want the soul fold. It's them they want to get on that chocolate rocket. That's them, but I'm gonna leave that alone. What I wanted to come up here and talk about was hip hop. So someone was talking about hip hop, and hold on, let me get my notes because I got a bad memory. I want to make sure I say this right. So if they got hip hop, if we got hip hop from them, then why are most of the samples of hip hop sold in R&B songs? This is just common sense questions I'm asking. If we got it from them, then why aren't there any true classic albums or songs that are created by Puerto Ricans? Anyone can tell me any? And the third question I got, so what part of hip hop is influenced by Puerto Rican culture? Can anyone answer any of those three questions I just asked?
Not a tap of it.
Ricans sampled a bunch of James Brown. That's insane to me.
Yes.
A bunch of people that created hip hop sampled a black man.
Exactly.
And Parliament Funkadelic as well too. Don't forget Parliament, because they one of the most sampled groups ever by hip hop artists as well too. James Brown, Parliament Funkadelic. So don't forget them as well.
Absolutely. And I forgot who it was said something about black people need to stop saying it. Other people will stop saying it. I don't necessarily think that's logical. The logic in that really doesn't hold up to me, because words don't carry the same weight, depending on who's saying them and what's in the context. The N-word, everyone knows, has a long history that's tied to oppression. And when black people, when we claim it, we're flipping it and we're using it as power. It's not the same as someone outside of the community using it. The intent and the context in which you says it does matter. It's not like saying you can't use a nickname for yourself unless everyone else can too. It's not how language or person ages work. It's just not how it works at all.
All right, appreciate that, Ray. Thank you. Let me go ahead and get to my girl Rella. Rella, what's going on with you tonight?
Nothing much. Hey, everybody.
What's up?
Hey. Hello, Reginald. How are you?
I'm just doing great. And how are you?
One day at a time. So, hey, Professor. Shout out to everybody and all.
What's up, Bella? And it's a 3 to 5 minute time limit.
You can kiss my beautiful rear. Newstoter, shout out to you.
What's up now, Rella?
So listen, there was I think the gentleman, he has the Spanish Dominican king. It's crazy listening to people from the Latin community, not fully, I think, really talk about, I think, the degenerate behavior that they practice within their community. Like, you'll always get one perspective from, like, the white Latinos versus the Afro-Latinos or the darker complexion Latinos, and they'll have a different contrast on how colonization actually was weaponized throughout their families. And then also, they don't want to try to even attach themselves to any of the historical records when it comes to what happened with enslavement and why the conversation around Viva La Raza, as the other guy tried to come in here and say, well, y'all do something too. Well, just because you point out the speck in my eye doesn't mean that your eye don't have speck in it. It means that you have literally a degenerative connotation to yourself, even so much so that you go to other countries and impose your culture on the people there that you practice in your own country. I think Mexico, I think the Dominican Republic, and a lot of the other Latino countries are still practicing colorism, racism, and the same oppression that was brought upon their countries by enslavement and the people who came and conquested those lands. And so what you're getting is you get people who want to have an excuse to be able to use the same language so that they can fit in with white society. And in order for them not to be the target of white society, which is why you see more Latinos who would have voted for Trump, regardless if Trump decides to do the deportation, they're like, well, yeah, we need to deport these people because they not like us. No, he talking about you too. But at the same time, it's literally diabolical because they're trying so hard not to see themselves as the immigrants and see themselves as the native people, because John Leguizamo wants to get on TV and say, we've been here for over 500 years. You can't be somewhere over 500 years and then skip over historical records of giving over land because you gave it up, or lost wars, or because you come from a lineage of people who, again, were the enslavers. The original people from the South were not you. They were not the people who would get online and call black people out their names or not recognize humanity in other nations. You only see that in predatory cultures of people who believe that they have to dominate a society by decimating it. And there are people who use that in language. They try to do, matter of fact, what happened with the LA City Council, how they had the ties with the cartel, they were targeting the black community, even Mexican and Latino gangs, or even other cultures that came into Los Angeles that came in and actually started targeting the black people in the community. They don't care to be symbiotic with you. They want to be opposition with you. It is I don't know, this gene. I don't know. It's this gene that wants to just wipe out and war with people that aren't like them while adopting and stealing their culture. And this is
it's called being related to Caucasians, really. That's what it is.
So I'll land and I'll say this. No Latino can ever use the N-word around me. And you guys already know how I feel about the word. Sometimes I slip up and I say it myself, and I have to realize it is something that is we're trying to purge ourselves from, but at the same time, the way we say it to each other is not in a genocidal way. Other groups say it to us in a genocidal way, and they use the term Viva La Raza to make sure that they let us know that they intend to wipe us out. That is why it is diabolical, and that is why they should be not be using it. And Fat Joe was dead wrong for what he did, period, point blank. Okay, and I'm inside.
All right, thank you, Rella. Thank you. Let me go ahead and get to I'm gonna get to you, Genocentric. Matter of fact, Genocentric, I'm gonna get to you real quick because I want to get to the new speakers, No Comp and Twizzler as well too. Family, Jules, you had your hand up. I don't know if you still want to speak. If not, put your hand up and we'll get to you. If you want to speak, just raise your hand and we'll get to you. Genocentric, go ahead and unmute your mic.
All right, thanks. As far as like Latinos, well, the Mexicans, a lot of them are mestizos, the native and your mix. A lot of people down south are mixtures. Even Black Americans, they won't acknowledge it, but they're mixed as well, are multiracial, like Muhammad Ali. He has white ancestry. He has white ancestry. I mean, you can't deny that. He has a white grandfather. Even if he doesn't claim him, he still does. Because the Anglos, when they came to America, they mixed in with the Black Americans. So a lot of Black Americans have at least 25% European DNA.
But we know that, though. We know that.
Well, then why do you you're mixed, wouldn't that make you mix with Caucasian or white, though? Because you
absolutely not. You talking.
Hold on real quick, Black Pressure. Hold on real quick. Most of us, Black people that do have the 20-25%, you're talking about we're generations removed from that. There's a difference, and if we want to go and just get right to it, there's still a difference between you and I. 500-600 years ago, Black people, our people was here. Our people, whether they came on a slave ship or they was here already, whatever, there were Black people here already on this planet. Your people 600 years ago weren't here until actual Europeans and the Indians actually mixed, and then you had Black admixtures as well too. So while you're sitting up here talking about,
you guys are mixed, but you're multiracial, dude. There's really there's not that many pure blood people.
We're not talking about pure blood, but we're saying that you are absolutely a mixed race. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and there's a lot of mulattoes that you guys claim as Black, like J. Cole, he's a mulatto. What is their name? The Haley Berry, she's a mulatto. A lot of so-called Black Americans are mixed. They have white moms, but you guys, because
the vast majority. Wait. The vast majority of Black people in this country are not mixed. Okay, having mixed ancestry don't make you mixed. The vast majority of Black people in this country. We know. We listen. If we could play this game here too. You have Black ancestry, and the white people that you talk about we mix with, they have Black ancestry. If you want to play that, okay. So everybody on this planet has Black in their blood. Europeans, if you believe the out of Africa theory, Europeans have Black in their blood too. 100-some thousand years ago, Black people migrated supposedly from Africa. I'm saying, well, do you believe in science? Hey, first shut your mouth, okay, and don't speak over me. Okay, you never heard of African? You never had heard of the out of Africa theory? Pressure, you're killing me with dropping this F bomb, though. Okay, first off, like I say, I'm talking. First off, if you believe the out of Africa theory, everybody on this planet has black in their blood. So that would mean before we ever got mixed with white or Asian, this and that, because there was no white on this planet, there was no Asian, and there most definitely was no Latino or Hispanic. So if you want to, and that's, yes, I'm talking about the Scandinavians. I'm talking about the Icelanders and all the rest of them as well, too. So yeah. So everybody, including yourself, because I know you're a mixed race person, you would also have black in your blood too. The purest white people with the blue eyes and the blonde hair and all of the fair skin or whatever, supposedly it was an ice age, and that's how all of this crap with the skin and all this took place. But going by this theory that they go by, the out of African theory, black people were the first people on this planet. It was a black planet. So yes. So yeah, we know that we have an admixture of people and races in our blood, but you have more. Half of your DNA is white. What are you talking about?
I understand that, sir, but what I'm saying is, like, the other people, they won't deny it, you know, like, that's what I'm saying, because let's be honest, bro.
No, let's be honest. What you sitting up here, you saying because you may have a trace of Negro in you that you feel like you should be able to pop off and say nigga, that's what you saying? So what are you saying? Because what are you saying, dude? Because you're sitting up here talking about you don't even know about the damn out of African theory, and you're gonna sit up here and tell us about what we're mixed with.
Dude, I'm just because you said that you have like Caucasian in you, and I'm like, well, most people have Caucasian.
So what's your point? What does that have to do with the topic? What does that have to do with the topic? What does that have to do with the topic?
Because when you said that somebody had Caucasian in them, you were implying that was.
Yes. That's right. That same disrespectful Latino that came in here talking about low IQs and black people and this and that and all this other crap. Yes, the same one sitting up here talking about that. He is a mixed race person. That's right. The same one came in here. He is a mixed race person.
He's a troll. He's not real. He goes into space.
I know he goes into them, but nonetheless, he's still a Latino, and just giving him a history lesson that, hey, 700-800 years ago, your people weren't even on this planet. That's what I'm saying. My people were here.
700 years ago, things were different.
700 years ago, there was no. Can we agree on this? 700 years ago, there was no Latino or Hispanics. Can we agree on that?
I agree.
Can we agree 700-800 years ago, there were black people?
Yes, they were.
Okay. So that's all we need to agree.
Like 700 years ago, there wasn't a cell phone. You couldn't talk to people around the world, bro. Like,
okay.
Man, what the fuck they got to do with that, bro?
Like, I don't know what you want me to say.
Language.
Yeah, I know, because I done said I don't know how many times, especially to stop. This thing is being recorded. Next thing I know, I'll be getting hit. So please, I keep saying stop dropping F-bombs in here. Anyways, you don't have anything really. I'm not talking to you, dude. I'm not talking to you. But anyways, I don't know what you talking about, this mixed blood and this and that or whatever. And then you did show your Aryan stripes, because you talk about well, Scandinavians, or I guess Scandinavians are the only pure group of human beings on this planet, huh?
I'm talking about in Europe, bro. There's also pure,
Who do you think were the first people in Europe? You think Europe was always lily white? No, I tell you what, you Google the out of African theory. You Google it, and then you can tell us what it is. You can tell us 100,000 years ago, the migration that came out of Africa, went to all of these different land masses and continents around the world. The ice age came, people got stuck in Europe supposedly and became white as snow. This is what scientists claim. Now, we don't know how true it is, but this is their theory. Okay, so yeah, we predate white people. We predate the Latinos, the Asians, all of y'all. So I don't know what you're talking about. Fear of a black planet, because it was a black planet. All right, let me get to. No, I'm not saying anything, because I'm done saying it to you. Because if you can't understand that, I mean, goddamn, what are you talking about, dude? I don't even want to hear this no more. Let me go ahead and get to.
understand.
Jesus Christ. So you telling me you're a grown man and you never heard of Out of Africa theory?
No, I have, but I just haven't looked into it. And the thing about it is,
So what do you think? What do you think the Out of Africa theory is, my friend?
everyone came out of Africa, sir. I understand that. But
So wouldn't that mean that white people are actually their nearest relative would be a black person that predated them? Because we know white people didn't originally come out of Africa, right?
No, they didn't. Look, news real quick. That out of Africa theory, we all know there are no such as a native African. Those people weren't invaders. What the out of Africa theory is, the black man births everyone that exists. That's what that is.
wait, wouldn't you say the black woman though? Because like men can't give birth.
Oh, you know exactly. Okay, now you playing. Now you playing dumb. Now you playing dumb. Okay. Now you playing dumb. Now you playing dumb. Okay, Gino. I mean that. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna drop you down. Thank you for coming up to speak as well. Let me go ahead and get to I believe it was no comp from. I can see your name. I think no compromise. Go ahead, no compromise, and unmute your mic.
Peace and blessings to everyone. Newstoter, original black professor, Professor FBA grade. Peace and blessings to y'all. So I'm from New York, right? From the South Bronx, the Southeast Bronx, the Bronxdale Projects, the home of Disco King Mario. My uncle was a black spade. And just to answer the question to this topic was a phenomenal topic that I came by. As far as the blacks in New York give Latinos a pass on the N-word, absolutely. Absolutely. I grew up there, man. I lived in New York. I lived around Latinos my whole life. The problem with the black New Yorkers, right? And I'm black. The problem with the black New Yorkers is the fact of they bought into that whole we are the world, we're all one scenario. And because they live so close in proximity to the Latinos, they can live right next door. They're the neighbors. They can live right next door underneath. New York is crowded, but especially in the Bronx, because they grouped a lot of the Caribbeans. A lot of the Caribbean folks, they grouped them in Brooklyn and Queens. The Latinos, they grouped them in the Bronx with the blacks. All right. Along with that, because they're so close in proximity, you begin to intermingle and mix with these folks. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of those Puerto Ricans, and I'm talking about specifically with Puerto Ricans because they use it the most. You know what I'm saying? With the Puerto Ricans using it, at first, it was the Caribbeans who would allow them, who were immigrants, who would allow those Puerto Ricans to use the N-word. And because a lot of those Caribbeans, I mean, obviously, you know what I'm saying, same skin tone and everything, a lot of us didn't even know they was from Jamaica, they were from Haiti or anywhere because they didn't say it. We didn't know until we actually went to their home and heard their mothers and fathers speak. It's the same scenario with Herc. You know what I'm saying? A lot of folks didn't even know Herc was Jamaican until they actually went into his home, until they actually heard his mother and his father speak. Herc never told anybody he was Jamaican. So a lot of them, they allow them first because those black folks in New York, especially like in the Bronx, the black spades who ran the Bronx, they was checking the white folks, the Italians, the Puerto Ricans. As soon as they would use that word, they was checking them on that. You understand? So because the close proximity with the Caribbeans and the blacks that was already there, and then the Puerto Ricans mixing in, we saw with Caribbeans allowing them to use it, and we're thinking they're one of us, and we're thinking it's all okay too as well. So we allow the Fat Joes to go ahead and say it. And the Fat Joes didn't come out and say it as in Fat Joe, Tab Squad, and all of them. They didn't come out and say it at first in terms of enemy type of battle lines like he's been using it. He would just say, I'm a real, N-word or whatever. That in other words, I'm a real one. You know what I'm saying? So we applauded that on, like, yes, he's one of us because he hung out with us. You know what I'm saying? He went to school with us. If we brought into that, you know what I'm saying? A lot of us, you know what I'm saying, a lot of our families, they migrated from the south up to the north, as you guys already know. You know what I'm saying? But we migrated from the south all the way up to the north. And so we brought into that, like, you know, we have a dream type of thing. But we didn't know about the second part of Martin Luther King's speech. You know what I'm saying? So we brought into that. And so we allowed it. And so now the blacks that's actually checking him now, that's checking these Puerto Ricans on it now, these are the blacks that is in the next generation that has come over. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about those 80 babies and the 90s babies who are, you know, in kind of like the 2000s. We are the ones who are checking them and have been saying, yo, this is what we are not allowing or whatever. But to be honest, these Puerto Ricans is so disrespectful. Even when you break it down to them, yo, this is what it means. This is what it is. They're trying to discredit our family line and our family lineage by saying, yo, you know what, but that was years ago. This is a term of endearment. Well, why don't you guys stop saying it? We'll stop saying it first. What about the black on black crime? Then they want to start trying to, you know what I'm saying, I guess, like, denigrate all of our family lines and history and things of that sort. You know what I'm saying? So the whole thing is, yes, as much as we, you know, a lot of people ask the question, yo, did our elders fail us? Did our, you know, it's a good question. Good question, fellas. You know, did the blacks in New York, did they fail the blacks, the rest of the blacks in America? You know what I'm saying? Because again, if you go up there, I'm from there. Right now, if a Mexican was to say the N-word, he gonna get checked. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? If an Italian says the N-word, he's gonna get checked. This is why they have to develop their own communities. If the Asians said the N-word, they're gonna get checked. You know what I'm saying? But if the specifically the Puerto Rican says it, nah, because of the close proximity and because they mixed in and mingled with us. So in essence, the Puerto Ricans to the blacks up there in New York is equivalent to the Africans to the Europeans in Africa. And I don't mean that with any disrespect, but you see how with, you know, the folks, the Africans, how they'll roll out a red carpet for a European that steps foot into Africa, anywhere in Africa. The blacks in the Bronx, specifically, they will roll out a red carpet for the Puerto Ricans, bro. I'm talking about if I say the N-word with an ER, hard ER at the end, I'll get checked. My life is in jeopardy, and I'm a black man. But if a Puerto Rican is right next to me and we battle rapping, and he says the N-word with a hard ER minted towards that black individual, the crowd will war him on. So did we fail him? Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? I was one of those. And now that I'm living here in the South, I live in Atlanta now. I'm living here in the South, and I'm realizing a lot of the real ones, a lot of the real blacks, you know what I'm saying, that would G-check all of these dudes, all these, I'm talking specifically the Puerto Ricans. I know you said the Latinos. I'm not trying to disrespect the topic, but specifically the Puerto Ricans, you know what I'm saying? The real blacks have already migrated back down here. And then down here that, yo, you know what? We checking anything and everything that's coming out disrespectful. So now you have here in the South, that ain't gonna fly. Fat Joe, all these other Hispanics or Latinos, Puerto Ricans, they cannot come to the South and shout out that N-word as freely as they do in New York City. I promise you that they can. You have another Alabama brawl going on. You know what I'm saying? And they understand that. They know it, fellas. Yo, I appreciate you guys for allowing me to speak. Like I said, much peace and blessings to you, Newstoter. Todd, I'm sorry, original professor, and original black, Professor Black. I appreciate you guys for allowing me to speak. Peace. Well up.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming up.
Yeah, thank you. No compromise. Let me give a shout out real quick to Russell and Cognitive as well too. And no compromise. Like I said before, you may have in small pockets in the South where Latinos, Hispanics up here talk about nigga this, nigga that, but it's very, very small pockets. I don't care what nobody say. I'm here in Florida, and we know Florida is a state that's multiracial itself. Probably after New York and Texas and California, we probably got the most Latinos and probably the second most Caribbeans and stuff like that here. Growing up, nobody was sitting around here. Latinos, I went to school with them from 7th grade to 12th grade. They weren't sitting up here talking about nigga this and nigga that. Straight up. Because if they did, you know, you was gonna have a thump session going on. It was none of that. So all this stuff, well, yeah, y'all do it in Florida too, and they did it all over the South. No. They do it where you come from. Because up here, like I say, down here, and like I said, and unlike a lot of these northern cities like New York and stuff where everybody's put together, no, the hood was 99% black that I grew up in. It was not, you didn't have it was mixed with Hispanics. It wasn't 10% Hispanics. It was 99% black. You have a couple poor white people up in the neighborhood, maybe a couple poor Hispanics and stuff like that. Hell, it wasn't even until I got in the 7th grade that actually in Florida, in Broward County, that I actually went to school with Puerto Ricans and Latinos and all of that. I didn't start knowing what really Dominicans and all that was until I was in the 7th grade. And to get there, you had to move into a neighborhood that was a mixed neighborhood. So all this stuff talking about, well, you know, yeah, no, hell, that's not true. Period. And it's still not going on. I'm in the city now, Tallahassee, that's anywhere from 30 to 35% black. I assure you, because there's not that many Hispanics up here. I assure you that whether it be Latino, Cuban, or whatever, I assure you they're not going around talking about, hey, what's up, my nigga? What y'all niggas getting into tonight? Yeah, nigga, I'm gonna come through. Please. Let me go ahead and get to Fed.
I was gonna say, guys,
go ahead.
Real quick, just to tie into what he's saying. I'm not sure your age, but can you speak on the Black Benji situation? And the reason why I asked you to speak on that is because you got a lot of the Latino Ricans, the Fat Joe, and everything that's going on. They feel they created 50% of hip hop because of the gang troop situation that happened after the death of Black Benji. But go ahead, though.
Oh, absolutely not. They could not have created. They could not have created hip hop or even had even any part in it. And I dare say, a lot of black folks they're pretty nice about saying it. You know, like at least they was there. I dare say they wasn't even there. They were not there. From the control. Absolutely, they were not there. When it came time for them to actually dance to the break like to James Brown, they didn't know what to do with it. You know what I'm saying? Because coming from one country to the other, you're going to bring your culture, you're going to bring your language, your dance, and everything. They're not used to getting on the floor. They're not used to that up rock. They was already doing up rock, the black spades. Mario already had his B-boys. My man, DJ FaZe was a black spade. He's actually in the documentary, as a matter of fact. DJ FaZe, talk really slow, from the 3rd section. DJ FaZe is also a drummer boy, so he'll play the drums as well, along for King Mario. And when King Mario threw on some disco, when he threw on some funk, and he played, when he threw the breaks on too, he just didn't play the breaks as long. But when he threw it on, Puerto Ricans, the one Puerto Rican that was there didn't know what to do because he's still a student studying. There were no female Puerto Ricans staying around. There were no female MC Puerto Ricans. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the time, you know what I'm saying, again, I know, like, with some blacks, they want to be nice and want to still try to be all, like, kind of inclusive, like, not so disrespectful to their culture. But again, if you take me out the hood right now and you put me in the middle of Haiti and they put on some Haitian music to dance to, I wouldn't know what to do with it. I might have to leave it alone. You know what I'm saying? It was my turn. I might have to watch. So they didn't know what to do to James Brown. You understand what I'm saying? When you playing James Brown, you playing a break. They didn't know what to do with Pygmy Mark when he played that. They didn't know exactly what to do. So again, you know what I'm saying? No, they could not have created, been in the creation because they were still being immigrated here to the country during that time. I would dare say that there was probably one white there, probably maybe, or there was probably an Asian there before the Latinos were there, but they just weren't engulfed in our culture. The Latinos was put dead smack in the projects with us, and because it was that, they was on survival mode, living in Bronxdale. You know what I'm saying? Because again, the black space, they ran Bronxdale, and King Mario, it's like there's 7 projects. They call them the 7 deadly projects over there. 7 projects over there. You know what I'm saying? And King Mario united all 7 projects while having B-boys, while playing music, and doing it all at the same time while having a jam. The jam was outside. It was not in no side room where you could only hold 30 people. You know what I'm saying? So with Hurricane, all these fake Puerto Rican DJs talking about they had creation in it, they're playing break music and all of that stuff in the room where there's like 30 people in. It's a community room, not even a community center. The Disco King Mario had it outside. That's where you get the people at. That's where you get the origins of it at. Kids start making up dances, and it started from the youth, not from the adults. You talk to the Puerto Ricans, you talk to the Caribbeans, they tell you it started from the adults. Talk to the Black Spades, King Mario, or Spanky, or Diamond D, the original Diamond D. They'll tell you it started from the kids. DJ Faze will tell you it started from the kids. Charlie Rock will tell you it started from the youth, the black youth. We all knew that. All the other DJs could not do that because they didn't have that type of muscle to unite projects and while doing it at a jam. That's how you create hip hop. That's black culture. Everybody who had beef, who had problems, he was the only one that united them, and he had the muscle to do so. He had the equipment. He had it all. Hurt didn't have that. The Puerto Ricans, all these other dudes, they didn't have that, and they understand that. It's just unfortunate because King Mario died he died at an early age, so he's not here to really reclaim his throne. You know what I'm saying? But we've done that in having a street name renamed after him and all of that. You know what I'm saying? So, they wasn't even there, my brother. I dare say they wasn't there. They probably was there at Cool Herc's party because that's where the Caribbeans. Mario threw parties for the blacks, and there was nothing but black people in the Bronx. You understand? When he threw music, when he threw a jam, it was in a school. He was able to get a school during segregation. I'm talking about we coming right out of segregation. He was able to throw jams in a school that was supposed to be segregated. Herc never did that. You know what I'm saying? He had to get other cats to do that. So I dare say, my brother, my brother Professor, no, it wasn't even there, my brother. It wasn't even there. It wasn't there at all, my bro.
Appreciate that. So we got us a couple dudes over there trolling in the YouTube section. This Keywin dude, I think, is a Latino, and he's pissed about the actual conversation going. Him and Manny. Now, this is what this cat. The link is. I think I put the link over there, but let me read real quick. This Manny dude say, black be prejudiced to their own kind, calling light skin is low key, calling them a house Negroes. Now you got somebody who don't know a damn thing about no black culture sitting up here talking about it, because everybody in this space got light skinned people in their families, and we ain't never called no light skinned person in our family no damn house Negro or house nigga. You got this other fool sitting over here. Key when talk about dark skinned niggas is always hating on the light skinned niggas. Now this is a Migo right here. This is a Latino right here talking noise about black people and stuff over here as well too. And this fool even said talk about even blacks wasn't listening to James Brown. It was actually white people. Before white people knew that. Before white people even knew who the hell James Brown was, black people had already elevated him. So we got us a couple of Latinos over here that's sitting over here trolling in the comments section over here on YouTube because they pissed about the discussion tonight. So K Perk says now everyone want to complain about Latinos saying it. And then I'm pretty sure K Perk is somebody from New York as well too that's probably getting offended about the topic as well too. So Keywin, I don't give a damn if you Puerto Rican. What's up? I'm black. So what you saying? When I'm supposed to grovel, a beg, a jump back because you Puerto Rican? So what that mean? Because if you Puerto Rican or whatever, hey, it's whatever. Like we don't sit down here and we don't bow up because we see a Puerto Rican. So whatever you saying, like I don't know if that's supposed to mean something where you at. Yeah, Pinocchio my ass, please. You up there stay.
Something special in terms of Vanessa Del Rio related to porn. She was definitely hot. The hottest
to me, Vanessa Del Rio looked like a tranny, but that's just me.
She looked like one to me too. Let me go ahead because we had the brother up here, family. You ain't telling no facts. The only facts you could tell is that you came into a black culture and enriched yourself. You ain't got no facts to tell, punk. What you talking about? Let me go ahead and get to Spanish. Spanish, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, I just wanted to go back to what Professor Geeky told me. He said 2 words: mass deportation. And listen, nobody knows mass deportation better than Dominicans. We are deporting Haitians by the truckload. All right. And a second point: if I had a magic wand, I would have all the Latinos, especially Dominicans, to disassociate themselves from hip hop culture or from saying the N-word. I really wish I could do that, but I can't. And unfortunately, a lot of young Dominicans have assimilated into Black American culture, and that is something that is out of our control. You know, when they come to this country, that is what they gravitate to, some of them. And unfortunately, you know, they are mimicking, you know, the whole culture, the N-word and everything. We can't stop that. But, you know, just best believe that it's not all of us doing it. We are not all trying to mimic you guys. We're not trying to participate in hip-hop culture. And the vast majority of us are not even trying to claim credit to it either. We're not trying to say that we invented it, went halfway with it. We don't want... There's people out there, there's Hispanics out there who wants nothing to do with it. Thank you.
Hey, those Spanish, check this out. It's nothing wrong with Dominican people wanting to be a part of hip hop culture or assimilating the Black culture. All we saying is when you do it, respect it. That's all we saying.
Yeah, real talk. Key one dude, I'd knock your ass out. You sitting online talking crazy or whatever online. You talk about somebody talking tough. I knock your ass out, dude. You go up there and stay in your little borough and get on your subway and do what you do. And the other cat up here talking about we racist. Why do you call? I know you ain't got a Hispanic sitting up here when they got all kind of race caste systems in their country that they come from. That everything that's dark skin is at the bottom of the economic ladder. Sitting up here talking about us calling like you ain't some of the most successful people and most idolized people in Black culture are light-skinned people, and you sitting up here talking about us. Yeah, okay. And you can't, and y'all keep Black people in these Latino and these Hispanic countries on the other side of the tracks, and you sitting up here talking about us when y'all go ahead and y'all take the lightest looking, white looking person that y'all could find a Spanish ancestry and put them on top of everything, and you sitting up here talking about us being like, please tell me what racism is light-skinned Black people facing in this country? Like, is this fool crazy? Is this fool crazy? Please go ahead, Rella. You got it.
Yeah, Spanish. I feel like there's kind of like this undertone, you know, like that you're trying to portray. Like when you say, you know, there's a lot of Hispanics or Latinos that are trying to not emulate hip hop culture, as if hip hop culture and rap somehow is pejorative, so much so that it makes Latinos behave in a degenerate way. Latinos come to the country behaving the way that they behave. Like the people coming across the border probably listen to hip hop crossing the border, and everybody across the border comes from a lot of different places. So, and on top of that, I don't know why it's almost like your submission is trying to say, well, hip hop is so degenerate that, you know, again, it's causing different people from other nations to start behaving in like a degenerative way, when it's videos on top of videos of people coming from around the world in Latino countries where they chopping people's heads off. Hip hop didn't do that. Hip hop didn't tell you to come over here, to Venezuelans to come over here, or to people from Guatemala to be thieves, or people from Spain to enslave people, or continuously practice enslavement or a caste system, or to align yourself to to look so much so that you are reading out your race. Hip hop didn't do that. That is a practice. And then on top of that, there is no Latino soul food. Like there's no, nowhere in even the Afro Latino community where they're practicing soul culture. They're adopting all of those things when they come here, just like around the world. Black American culture is 1,000% the influence of the world right now. Matter of fact, so much so, country genres in music is being adopted around the world. People are walking around with cowboy hats on and boots.
That's anti-access.
I'm just saying, like, if we really are going to really have the conversation about how Latinos don't want to practice Black American culture, I don't know where you at. Maybe you don't want to. Maybe you're trying so hard not to because of your belief system. But I'm pretty sure you put on some Black American music of some kind and you got a bop, and I'm pretty sure you bop in your head. My problem is that when we start to have contextual conversations about historical records in facts of communities targeting Black Americans and practicing anti-Black racism and whatever the isms there are, somehow it goes back to Black on Black culture, Black on Black crime, and I think I heard somebody mention that, or I think the guy tried to call us low IQ. Well, you can't call nobody low IQ when you come into a country and you have to use our very system that Black Americans literally are denied to get a leg up, and then tell the people that you need more money, you need more food and resources, that you need to be getting the things that you need to get in the heck with the American people that live here. I don't understand that.
Also, really too, I know you brought it up. They bring up degenerate Black culture, and one of the tentacles that grow from that is always hip hop, and people are mimicking that degenerate culture. You know, in the Western Hemisphere, the top two narco-terrorist states are Colombia and Mexico. I wonder what hip-hop had to do with that.
I'm going to land and say this. You don't even know any of the legends outside of the people that we probably mentioned in here today. And I think that that's maybe the biggest thing, is that when other groups talk about Black Americans, and I'm going to say, I know, Newstoter, you only have New York up in the title, but you have Black Americans across the country who, like the Hunter, the young football player who's with the girl that said she didn't love him until, she was getting some security that he was going to be this pro ball player. It's the same practice. If it's not in sports, it's happening in the community where, you have people that are ciphering off of us just for the benefits, and then once they get what they get, the transfer of wealth happens and the transfer of influence and culture happens. But there's nothing that we get in return. We don't get anything in return from the Latino community. There's nothing that they actually pour into the Black community that they give us. That's why when John Leguizamo got on his soapbox, as he's now running around talking about Juan Crow, where is Juan Crow at? And who was Juan? My bad. I'm saying, okay, but you know what I mean. I'm saying he's literally saying that pretty much the history of this country is the foundation of a people who were not here 500 years ago. So that doesn't make any sense. And then you have no records to actually back up that information. None. You don't talk about the conquistadors. You don't talk about the Battle of Alamo. You don't even talk about coming into the Revolutionary War. Where was they at? And then where was they at when it came to enslavement? Where was they at? Because they sure wasn't rescuing nobody. And as a matter of fact, when our ancestors literally did go south, they Mexicans literally was trying to put our ancestors into the same slavery, but they said, we won't put you in chains. We won't put you in chains, though. You just
Hey,
have to work.
bro, let me come off the top rope, sweetheart. Let me come right behind you. When you talk about all those Spanish explorers that first came to the Western world, they came to this side of the world, and they went to the Caribbean, and they went to the South Florida and the Florida Keys and all that, Columbus. You had Balboa and some other ones I'm slipping my mind right now. Like you brought up the records. It's funny when you read those dudes' journals. When all those Spanish people came to this side, those Spaniards came to this side of the world, they said, "Hey man, what are these Africans doing here?" I'll mute up and listen.
So that's it right there. And I think there is a silver lining, and I think that just as much as you might not like rap, you might not like our history, Latinos have a history too, and it is not one that has been a benefit to Black Americans. It's been anti-Black, and at the same time, there's always been this push to talk about Black and brown, but you never correct it and say, you guys are not brown people. You're not. You're so far removed from being brown people that you don't even identify and recognize Afro-Latinos. So, I mean, there's a huge conversation, I think, to be had, and delineation should happen in all communities. Even the white folks need to be delineated, because some of them are off their rocker, and they don't even know, half of them don't even know where they're from. And I hope, Newstoter, maybe you'll have that topic too. And just plug and play. I'm just saying. But, before I lose my mindset, people in LA, I'm from Cali, I need y'all to stop trying to give foundation to Latinos that practice anti-Black racism voice in hip-hop or rap just because you want to be their friend, or you want to have them in proximity because they didn't join y'all gangs or they in the community. Because I think if anybody has had respect enough for us in our community and even the things that we've created, they would not be spouting anti-Black racism, because they don't show up any other time until it's time to make money or if it's a benefit. Because had they did that, the families that were in LA who were being burnt out of that them projects that the Mexican gangs down there attacked the people in the 10th district, that would have been handled by their own people, and it wasn't. The LA City Council members that got caught on video, on recordings, talk about the blacks. Y'all like to use that word.
That guy following with the blacks.
You would stop saying that, because because you just trying in public not say the N word with the WR, so you'll say the blacks. White people do that too. It's derogatory in tone, and you do it on purpose.
Oh, come on. The whole space is about using the N word. And you're complaining about the blacks being derogatory.
Yes, the term, the word, and see, this is why. Listen, and this is the reason why you don't understand Black culture, because you can't even understand what I'm saying.
Everything's offensive to you. Everything, though. Everything. It's like you're making people
Okay. Spanish, go ahead. Let me mute this mic again. Spanish, stay on your microphone. Rella's going to be done in a second. Rella, I'm going to have you land the plane because Stephanie's up here too, so I want to hear what she's got to say. Spanish, you can raise your hand, and we'll get to you as well too. But let me go ahead and let Rella finish what she's saying so I can get Stephanie up in here as well too.
Sorry, Newstoter, and I know it's long-winded, but it's important because, again, I want people to pay attention what just transpired. Spanish can't even hold his mic because he's crashing out, because it hurts you to hear Black Americans actually point out things that are anti-Black American that you do in practice if you don't understand it. But you want to tell us in here what the Latinos experience is in this country, or the Spanish experience in this country, and we supposed to take it, and I'm supposed to be like, yep, you're right. Cheers to you. No, that's not how that works. Just because you're not comfortable in having the conversation is a you problem, not mine. And I'm mad.
All right.
And real with the A News, don't tell a Dominican they got African ancestry. Boy, you better have
Let me go ahead real quick. Y'all, you get everybody's got that feedback and stuff. So stay on your microphones because I'm hearing a bunch of feedback. Let me go ahead and get to Stephanie. Stephanie, I want to get to Stephanie, and then I'll go ahead and I'll get to No Compromise, and I get to Carrie, and I'll get to DJ. We ain't gonna keep it going too much longer, but I want to go ahead and get to the hands what's up. Also, for those that can support us on Cash App, $Newstoter, $Newstoter. Newstoter is the largest Black-owned, Black American news media curation platform today in America. Once again, $Newstoter, $Newstoter. If you don't have a Cash App, we got the PayPal, Venmo up in the Jumbotron. Same for people on YouTube. We have the Cash App. You can do Cash App and PayPal, Venmo. That's in the description as well too. But go ahead, Stephanie. I know you were waiting, so I'm gonna let you go ahead and get it.
You can let No Compromise Carrie and DJ go. I'm still at work.
Okay. Well, we'll come back to you, but No Compromise. You go ahead then.
Yo, peace, brothers, peace, sisters. Yo, I was just saying.
Wait. No Compromise. Before I get to you, let me get to Avenge the Ancestors, since it's a new speaker, and then I'll come back to you.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Avenge. You got it.
What's up, brother Newstoter?
What's going on, fam?
Yeah, thanks for bringing me. What's up to the room? Yeah, I want to speak directly to the title. I want to speak directly to the open enemy collaborator. See, man, I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, man. I grew up around blacks my whole life, man. Only time I lived outside the black community is when I paid rent, you know. And that's how I came up, man. They used to say, man, this is what they say, we all niggas. That's what they used to say. They probably still say it. I wouldn't doubt it, you know. That's why I walk alone, man. I ain't no niggas. I don't know why black people adopted that. I don't know where it came from, but it's a label of hatred, pure hatred, man. Not endearment. It's not a bonding technique, man. It's a label of pure hatred. I don't know why black people adopt that. I don't know why they roll with it, but like the one brother that came up, man, I was counting. He said the word nigga, man, 10 times. I'm sitting here counting it, and he just saying it like everything, man. There's a label of hatred, man. We need to disband it. We need to ban it from all aspects of our society. We can't get mad if these other people say it and we say it, man. It's a label of hatred. Bottom line, I'm going to land there, bro. Thanks for bringing me up.
Might be stuck in the matrix.
Listen, all I'm saying is
Okay.
to make up your mind. You guys gotta
Okay, I was stuck in the matrix. Okay, who is that talking? I was in the matrix. Who is that talking? Is that you? Hey, Spanish, hold on. What? Yeah,
He mad he African. And we pointed that out. He upset it.
Well, go ahead. I'm gonna actually let you speak first, Spanish, and then I'm gonna come back so No Compromise and Carrie can go after you. So go ahead and speak.
Go ahead, Latino Spanish. All I'm saying is you guys gotta make up your mind because, like, okay, so you don't want to be called the N-word, fine. All right. Then you don't want to be called African American because you're not.
Somebody mic is unmuted. Hold on, real quick, Spanish. Somebody mic was unmuted, but go ahead.
You don't want to be called African Americans because you're not Africans, right? and now the word blacks, now that's offensive. So, like, what the hell do we call you guys?
First off, hold on. Who in here said that the word black was offensive? Where the hell you heard that from?
That's what I was saying. You misunderstood.
She was saying how the blacks is offensive.
My name it says one love. That's what it said.
Okay, Rella, let him finish though, real quick. But go ahead. I want to know who said who. Where did you get this whole thing that somebody say black was offensive? Go ahead.
Comprehension is hard for them.
Yeah, Rella, let him go ahead. I want to hear him. Let him finish. I want to hear what he's got to say. Go ahead, Spanish.
I'm done, sir. I'm done. Thank you.
Okay, so but I'm trying to figure out what did you come up with? Because you just said that you said something that nobody has said. You said that we said black was offensive.
One Love said that being referred to as the blacks was offensive. That's what she said.
Well, yeah. I mean, who the hell goes around and say the blacks? I mean, that is, you don't think that is offensive? What the hell are you talking about? Because if you go around and you say the Jews, you say what?
We even say the whites.
And that's the reason why I keep saying that you don't know the history of Black Americans in this country. You fail to learn actual history about what happens in this country. And when someone explains it to you and you hear from people that come from the lineage and it's almost like head with a rock and you be.
But One Love, listen, I was born here and I was taught black history every single year, every single February. It was like clockwork. Black History Month. I'm talking to One Love. It was Black History
Month.
I said,
who taught it to you?
The public school system. The elementary public school. They did it every year, every February. It was like clockwork. The same thing over and over a year for 12 years. We were taught Black history every year.
You were taught Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks. No. Let's pause. Okay, so let's pause.
Okay, we can only have one person speak at a time. So Rella, let him talk, and then you can go ahead and respond to what he's got to say. Go ahead and speak Spanish.
So she's saying, One Love said to me that we don't understand Black history. But when you go to school, when you go to the public schools here in the U.S., especially in liberal states, they teach you Black history every year. It's like clockwork. Martin Luther King, civil rights, Abraham Lincoln, Frederick Douglass, Harriet Tubman, Rosa Parks. We are taught Black history every single year, every month, February, from grade 1 all the way till grade 12 in high school. And we're seeing it all over Netflix. We see it all over YouTube. We see it all over Facebook, Twitter. We're bombarded by Black history every single day.
You mean the people that
she says that we don't understand Black history because what? Because we're not Black? I understand it, but we are bombarded by Black history every single month, every year. So please give me a break.
So it's
hard is a negative connotation.
So it's a liberal. So Black history is a liberal thing.
It's a progressive thing. The progressives are the ones shoving this down our throats.
Black history is an American history. And what I'm going to point out is your ignorance. Is the mere fact that, again, I said, using the tone and term, the blacks, when you are describing a group of Black American people in a derogatory way and using it as if you mean to just describe a people is degenerative. And because you don't understand what cognitive thinking is and you don't understand actually the harms that have been done, you believe because you learned Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King and you bombarded with Netflix and Black movies that somehow it is a detriment to you to know that Black Americans exist. Thank you for letting us know where you stand, and the fact that you have an itch when it comes to being bombarded with seeing Black Americans. And I hope for the rest of your life and in your nightmares, we show up.
All right, thanks, Rella. Let me somebody mute their mic too. Somebody mute their mic. Let me give a shout out to Ashton real quick for the contribution on Cash App. Yeah, I caught this little thing you talking about the progressive and the bombarding and this and that or whatever. Let me tell you something right here, my friend. Progressive, liberal, conservative, independent, all of them should be teaching Black history because Black people were the ones that actually built the country. Black people have contributed more in this country than your people have. And I know you might not like that I said that, but that's true. So don't sit up here and talk about bombarded and this and that or whatever. They only give you a smidgen of what Black people, they don't want to give you too much anyways. So they only teach a smidgen of what actual education is. And I can kind of get this feeling that you want these people here because I'm sure because a lot of Latinos, they have this Republican mindset as well, too. And I'm not a Republican or a Democrat, but a lot of them, especially like the Peckerwoods here in Florida and stuff, feel like, hey, you know what? Let's not put that in the actual textbook. Let's not put everything that they went through. Let's not put this. Let's say that they weren't slaves, that they were actually helpers and all kind of ridiculous stuff as well, too. So I can kind of sense that little anti snipe that you had about Black people and being bombarded or whatever about 1 month that's dedicated to a history of people that built this damn country up, fought in every war. I mean, the contributions that Black people put into this country can't even be calculated. So to sit up here and talk about, well, you know, we've been bombarded and with this and we're talking and progressive, that little whole progressive thing now, that's what I'm talking about. Because because after a while it comes out. Because let's be honest here. Latin America were actually slave states themselves as well, too. So all this stuff that we talking about, the nigga this, the nigga that, or whatever, you ain't need Fat Joe or no other rappers or even the Black people up in New York to go ahead and accept it because y'all always had an anti-Blackness about you. Like I said before, your entire countries was built off of slave labor, just like over here in the United States of America as well, too. So we understand. We also understand when a good number of y'all came over here, you tried to classify as white and still do try to classify as white. So we understand history as well, too, my friend. Let me go ahead. I want to go ahead, Carrie, and No Compromise. I'm going to get to you, but I Am is from New York, so I want to hear what she's got to say about the discussion. And then I'm going to come back to Carrie and No Compromise. But I Am, go ahead and unmute your mic. You got it.
Hey, what's up, Soda?
What's up? Now, I know what the title of the space and stuff like that. Now, you my girl, and I love you. And New York is our family. So I want to go ahead and say that. Okay. We're not trying to say, and not every Black person in New York, not every Black person in New York we know goes along with that or whatever and stuff like that too, as well, too. I can understand that there's there's a sentiment. I understand that you guys feel like, hey, we've been picked on and this and that or whatever. And this and that. So that's why I wanted you to come up here and give us a perspective of a New York sister as well, too. So I'm going to fall back. Everybody stay on your mic and let the sister cook.
Okay, first and foremost, real quick, I like to address No Compromise. I have never heard a Black American say the Blacks. Like, numerous times you refer to Black Americans as the Blacks, as if you're not Black American. That was really weird for me. But you were speaking from a perspective from the dirty ass Bronx, from the projects in the dirty ass Bronx. You don't speak for Orland, New York. Speak from the area that you know. So I'm going to do that as well. Now, I'm Gen X, right? So that means I was born in 1975. I'm currently 49 years old. I moved out. I've been out in New York about 6 years now. All my life, I've always known immigrants to be there. I never not known them to be there. To be perfectly honest, it definitely wasn't in the capacity it is now. But I do remember Jamaicans and Puerto Ricans. I have friends that I've went to school with since kindergarten that are Puerto Ricans and Jamaicans. So this is not no new thing. I don't know how old you are, but
You definitely not a Gen X saying that. Um, Also, it's funny. I was laughing when Sister Megan in the back. She's talking about the Bronx, but also in regards to these Guala Gualas being a part of hip hop. I'm what I say, well connected in New York hip hop, mostly old school. Uh, One of my very good friends is DJ Johnny Juice. If you know Juice, he was the Public Enemy's DJ at one point, and he is again. Uh, my closest homeboy used to call me POTUS was Granddaddy IU. Rest in peace. I run with the best of Keith Murray and Craig Mack. I can go on and on. Eric Sherman. I can go on and on and on. I know them all personally. So to sit here and say that they weren't there, that's not true. I would never say that they created it because then that's absolute complete fabrication to the utmost. They ain't create shit. Oh, I'm sorry. They didn't create anything, and what I always say is that, if you created it then show me a rapper in your country from that time. Like, cut it out. Like, that's nonsense. So, but yeah, they were there and they participated and afterwards they contributed, but created, no, absolutely not. Black Americans, we are the culture. We are the world's culture. This world would not survive without Black Americans. Y'all get everything from us. So cut it out. From clothing to music to slang to food. Like, I can go on and on and on. Y'all literally get everything from us. I want to talk about these millennials and these Gen Z real quick. My children, I have a millennial and Gen Z. I have nieces and nephews who are Gen Z. I'm down here currently in North Carolina. Now, I would have to say that at least twice a week, I check one of them to make sure they checking their friends because they down here saying nigga, 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 nigga. Right? And it's these Guala Gualas. Now, mostly down here, you got these Mexicans and these Salvadorians. They are the ones. So I would say they said it back then, but it's way worse here. It's way worse here. I'm constantly, I be everywhere. I'm like, really, really, really? That, I don't check white boys down here when brothers just sat there and laughed. Now I got to check the white boy and I got to check you too. You know what I'm saying? So this is not just New York thing. This is everywhere thing. You know what I'm saying? The other ones, we didn't even talk about California because you got these gualas running y'all out of California. So, we ain't doing that in New York. They ain't running us out of nowhere. They bomb y'all cribs and making y'all run to Nevada and Arizona and Texas. That ain't happening in New York. So, California, y'all should be quiet, in the words of Minister Farrakhan. But, yeah, like I said, everybody's doing it. You know what I'm saying? And I can only speak for my state. I love my state. Shout out to New Yorkers. You know what I'm saying? I F with y'all the long way. We have our issues and we do our things and everything else like that. But like I said, New York has always been a melting pot. I've never not known it to be a melting pot. You know what I'm saying? I got a picture of my mom who just turned 70 on New Year's Day. When she was in 11th grade. 11th grade, and guess who she's surrounded by? Black Americans and Puerto Ricans. You know what I'm saying? So it's always been this way. We've never not known this way. But I'm never gonna tolerate. I can't only speak for myself, I'm never going to tolerate nobody coming out their face. That's not a Negro talking about nigga, nigga, nigga. It's just not happening. It's just not going down. And I hope that you guys are out there doing the same. You know what I'm saying? Going forward, across the board, across the country, we need to do better. But the biggest issue that we are absent, our youth, these millennials and these Gen Z, they just okay with anybody and everybody doing whatever with our culture. So we sit here focus on sloppy Joe. You know what I'm saying? We need to be focused on our youth, our futures. That's what I call them, our futures, because they're the ones out here being with that we are the world nonsense and just allowing anybody and everybody to do whatever with our culture. That's why you see these videos and everything ever. You know what I'm saying? But but I love you, Toda. You know what I'm saying? I talk about my schniznick, my sugar honey, iced tea to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Nobody gets a pass on this app. I love Rella. Rella gets a pass. All right, hold y'all. I'm sorry. Rella gets a pass. But yeah, that's really it. And I don't know about you, comrade, man. You sound like Puerto Rican. I ain't even gonna hold you. If you New Yorkers, we in the back channel, we all saying the same thing, bro. You sound like Puerto Rican. I ain't never heard no Black American talking about the blacks. It brought me back to that Walla in from the video where you said that. You with the blacks. When you said that, that's the first thing that came to my mind. I never heard no Negro say that before. So I'm gonna need you gonna need a paperwork check. Yeah, change your picture. We need to see what you look like. Are you verified? And I land.
I keep getting stuck in the matrix, y'all. Now, what's up? Okay, I was in the matrix again, so I was trying to come out, but I'm sorry about that. But thank you, I am. Thank you. Stephanie, I know you was waiting for a minute. Let me get to Stephanie, and then I'll go and get to Carrie and No Comp. We're gonna be closing this thing out soon as well, too. So go ahead, Stephanie. Go ahead, Stephanie. I'm sorry.
Okay, for a minute there, I thought I was gonna have to drop down and come back up. Salute to the entire chat. Shout out to everybody in the room. I just got to say this. First off, I don't like nobody using the N-word that's not black. I don't even like black people using the N-word. Now, as far as us allowing other people of so-called color using that word, I'm going to give a brief history. I'm from the area. I'm from a time when people couldn't say that word, period. Not even Caribbeans using that N-word during that time, because they would get, people would have gotten lumped up back then. You wasn't allowed to say that word. A lot of them didn't even want to admit where they came from back in the days. And there's actual proof behind that. And I'm going to say shout out to For the Culture TV, formerly known as Michael Wayne TV. And also, there was a Biggie documentary. There was a documentary on Biggie's life, where you have one Jamaican dude that said, we didn't, it wasn't cool to be a Jamaican back then. So I don't understand how out of the clear blue everybody's now, well, we did it. It's just too much evidence out there to say that you did it. Even the light-skinned Puerto Ricans with the afros, like, yo, son, let us in, we black. Nobody knew that these people were of a different nationality to try to bastardize and change the history of the culture around. So how was we supposed to know that a lot of these folks was actually of a different ethnicity? We did not know. Okay? Where I grew up, everybody was Black Americans. It wasn't too many people from the Caribbean, and it was a sprinkle of Puerto Ricans in our area back then. Okay? That's how I grew up. You'll find one Puerto Rican in the classroom. That's how many of them it was within our community in Bed-Stuy, because we was just holding it down. Whether you had South Carolina, Virginia, North Carolina rules, we was deep where I was at, where I'm from. We were deep. People get older, they die off, they get married, they have families or whatever, and they move away. It happens. So guess what? The demographics change. You got more of this person moving in, you got this person moving out. Things have changed, and it has changed over the years. I'm not making up any excuses for why this situation is even a thing now. But I knew that at a time that I grew up, you would have got the snot knocked out of your nose for even saying that word. And that is a fact of where I grew up at. Okay? Like I said, people change, situation change. I don't know how we got to this point, but I can honestly say a lot of black dudes in New York, and it's more than it was back then. They did not accept him in the rap game back in the days. Okay? He was not accepted. He was not well liked in the black community back then. And it had nothing to do with his race. It just had something to do with him just being a whack artist. And they didn't see too much potential in Fat Joe like that. I'm just saying. Of course, you hang around the right people and you cozy up and you brown nose, of course somebody might feel sorry for you and plug you in. That's how sometimes it happens. Like you might have a female that might have a mediocre voice. She might not sound all of that, but guess what? Some dude might say, hey, I need a singer on my demo. Can I use you? It's almost that kind of situation when it comes to somebody like Fat Joe. Fat Joe was not the big thing. People was gravitating more towards Big Pun because Big Pun was a much better rapper back then. And I don't even think I heard him use the N-word in any of his lyrics. And if he did, somebody please correct me because I didn't listen to rap music like that at that time.
That nigga, fried rice and rib tips, that nigga that is beating up my sister boyfriends, that nigga is shit. Thank you, DJ. Saying I'm never getting drunk again, that nigga.
Yeah, that's good. Let her finish, so that's good, but go ahead.
But like I told you, I didn't listen to that type of rap music at that time. And thank you, DJ. Thank you for correcting. But like I said, I didn't feel that type of music. You know what I mean? A lot of people didn't feel Fat Joe because I guess he had like a reputation in his area back in the day. So he kind of was like doing that intimidation thing, and now everything is just coming out in the wash now because he should have kept his big mouth closed. Now everybody is coming at him and talking about how much he's a liar and how much dirt he did in his area. You know what I'm saying? So as far as that goes, black New Yorkers, like I said, it depends on the area because, like I said, they wasn't really controlling anything like that. They was trying to run it. They was trying to combat us, especially if you heard about the riot in Rikers Island. They was trying to take over Rikers Island, and the brothers in Rikers wasn't trying to hear it. And there was a big battle in there, but the brothers won. They tried to do it twice. They tried to take over Rikers twice. So it's not like we was just sitting here and letting people bully us and bowl us over. It was still brothers out there that was still trying to hold down the fort. But don't forget, a lot of us done moved on, and a lot of us died out, and a lot of people just say, hey, I got a family, I can't be out here with this nonsense no more. And yes, we do know about the goons like King Tut and all these other guys that grew up and New York was completely held down, Fat Cat Nichols and stuff like that. I hope I'm making some sense, but we wasn't really going for it then, and now that everything is out in the open, a lot of people are now knowing what's really happening because a lot of people was too focused on family and work and stuff like that and making money. Now brothers are saying, oh, wait a minute. Some brothers is actually putting the war paint back on. They say, no, we ain't having this. So you're just going to be hearing a lot of stuff in the future. I ain't going to say what's happening, but a lot of people are not liking what they're hearing. And that's just basically what I'm just going to say right then and there, and that's it.
All right. Thank you, Stephanie. I'm going to read 2 super chats, and then I'm going to go ahead and get to Carrie. No Comp, I know you want to speak. Black Pressure, y'all be the last 3 speakers for the night. Chosen 619 says there's no excuse for non-blacks to say nigga. Chosen 619 also says NYC did not gatekeep any of our FBA coaches. So shout out to Chosen 619 as always, and thank you for the super chat sticker as well to Chosen 619. Let me go ahead and get to Carried and No Comp. I got you, Pressure. And I guess DJ will let you, and then we're going to close it out for the night because I'm going to be closing this down. But go ahead, Carrie. You got it real quick.
Oh, thanks. Latinos commit the most hate crimes on Black Americans in California. And, stop complaining about being reprimanded. You know better. When you say it, because you commit so much violence on us and so much hate, which is not reciprocated, there's plenty of studies on anti-Blackness down where you're from, in those countries. It's never, ever reciprocated in these same studies. You're doing it all yourself. You need to deal with the anti-Blackness that's going on in your countries, because you bring that here. We don't reciprocate it. I bet you if you poll us today, it would be 90% of Black Americans that would be, no, I don't have any racial animosity, at certain ethnic groups. And yet every single study has this outsized, and you guys come up here and you're getting pushed into teacher positions, political positions, pardon me, and you're saying we're violent. No, you're violent. And we don't like it when you guys are saying the N-word because it has a tone. Because those things are happening. And when are you going to acknowledge that? That's, because you bring it with you. That's all I got to say. Thanks.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Carrie. Let me go. No Compromise. Did you want to speak or you good?
Absolutely. Brother, thank you for bringing me back on. I wanted to address what Spanish, I think that's what he was saying, but I seen his sister. I just wanted to straighten, just make some things clear, just clarify a bit, because I think she misunderstood. If you want to check if I'm FBA or not, I mean, you can go ahead. My mom is from South Carolina. My father's side is from, my mom's side is from Alabama. My father's side is from South Carolina. Right? I already know my family roots and all of that. My mama was actually my mama and my great-grandmother was a part of the Great Migration in the 60s. Right? So, so if you want to check to see if I'm Puerto Rican or not, you're not going to find that. But you can check it out if you want. I would say this. We got to start asking the question, right? And I think it was Original Black. I think he had asked the question a little earlier when that other Puerto Rican troll, a Latino troll, I think he was saying that everybody had low IQs, something like that. He asked the question. My black brother asked the question that was very clear, but was never answered. He asked the dude, why are you here? And I think that's a perfect question. This space is a perfect example of how hip hop was even started, or how it even looked. If you look in the space, nothing but blacks here, right? Nothing but black people here. Beautiful black faces, beautiful black profiles. That's all you see. But yet you see what? 2 Latinos here. You see about 2 of them here. A sprinkle. This is how it was in the parties. This is how it was in the Bronx. And I wanted to just to get through to the sister. I just want us respectfully to be careful about the whole you can't speak for the whole New York City type of thing, because that's what's going on now. They're using that against us now. They're telling us that because certain producers and certain screenwriters, because they're not from New York and they did a documentary about hip hop being birthed in New York, not started, but just the spark of it being sparked in New York. They're saying because you're not from there, you can't even speak. This is what the New Yorkers are saying up there. There's the Puerto Rican New Yorkers, even some black New Yorkers as well that don't subscribe to even being foundational to this country at all. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, listen. I ran throughout all of New York City, New York State, New York City, period. Right? I'm from the Bronx. I don't claim to entire city. I haven't met everybody in the whole entire city, but I can tell you that I have experienced Black culture. I have experienced that love, that unity. I've experienced what it is like to be around Black people when they are unified in certain projects that people deem a deadly seven. Now, I'm not saying that is the only deadliest city. It is the Chirac of America. Nah. But what I am saying is that I know what it's like to go from borough to borough. And you can see that New York is not just melting pot like people say that it is. Everybody's got their own town in New York except for us. And that one town that we had, that one town that we thought we might have had, has now been gentrified. They don't gentrify the Italian town, Spanish Harlem. They don't look to gentrify those areas first because we don't own and control those things. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm saying that, hey, when it comes down to it, we definitely got to ask that question, why are you here? These Spanish dudes showing up, this is a discussion for Black people, right? Now, I understand that the brothers opened it up for anyone to comment if they chose or if they selected them. But why are they here? Like, you don't see a lot of Black people in the Latino or Puerto Rican spaces trying to give comment or give input. Then the brother, the Puerto Rican, tries to say, or the Latino guy, tries to give off his privilege. I don't know if anybody caught it, but he says, y'all got to make up your mind. Now, here's the space divided and designed by Black men and women, for Black men and women, to give context so that we can move on for the next day and be encouraged to do better and to create more and to create that unity. And this dude's coming in here from a whole different culture, whole different race group, talking about we have to make up our minds. Why do we have to make up our minds? It's not in your place to tell another brother what he has to do. What we have to do is continue to ask that question, why are you here? And if the Puerto Rican and the Latino was talking about how, you know what, we've been bombarded. Funny choice of words.
Compromise. I'm muting you for a second because I'm gonna have you land your plane because we're gonna get to the last two speakers and we're gonna end it. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and land it, and so we can go ahead and get to the next speaker, so as we can go ahead and close it out.
My apologies, brother. Hey, I'll land it here. Yo, man, I appreciate you guys for allowing me to come up and speak, to even say anything. And again, it's nothing but love. I love the sister who came from New York, and I love all the brothers and sisters here. Like I said, the original Black asked a great question that I think we got to continue to ask when these people come up into these spaces. Why are you here? And don't back off of them. Keep that heat on them until they answer it. Peace and blessings, brothers and sisters.
Absolutely. Thank you, No Compromise, for coming up here. Let me give a shout out to the Francesca. She donated on Cash App, so shout out to her. Pressure, you want to go ahead and say something real quick?
No, I'm straight. They had another chick. She had an E in her name. I don't see her no more, but she had her hand up. I'm good though.
Okay. DJ, real quick, then I'll go ahead and let you go ahead and say something.
I ain't got much to say. You already know the family don't rip shop already. You know what I mean? Shout out to the real hip hop. You already know that's the Black American music. So all I guess I would say is, who would be on your Mount Rushmore hip hop? Who is your Mount Rushmore hip hop? Come on and tell me in the next space who your Mount Rushmore hip hop, who you think created hip hop, should be the Godfather, Godmama, or whoever. Come on over in the next space, family. Shout out to Newstoter.
It's sure that Joe.
Oh hell no, I'm popping. You know what I'm saying? No Black.
Oh yeah, did I read the Chosen 619 had a Chosen 619 had one more super sticker. It says FBA Latino unity only means leeching off of FBAs. Shout out to Chosen 619. Oh, somebody might. Yikes. But yeah, shout out to Chosen 619 as well, too, guys. Shout out to Original co-hosting tonight as well, too, as always. Very informative. So thank you, Original, for co-hosting. DJ, I know you in the speaker section. Professor was up here, but he Professor dropped down, so he's out. Thanks.
Hey, read that comment by King Kalonji right there in the YouTube. Yeah, I know you lying, bro. I know you.
Which comment? Because he's got a couple.
You scroll down all the way at the bottom, right under the last Chosen 619 comment.
Well, it says New York claiming the creation of hip hop. Somebody mute your mic.
Somebody got their mic on.
That was DJ. New York claiming the creation of hip hop is a problem because Puerto Ricans, Jamaicans, plus others have been there all along. However, they weren't there in the 20s, 30s, and 40s and up outside of New York. So, okay.
Anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Right. I'm gonna put it this point right here. I'm not saying that any of those people didn't contribute to the art form, because they did contribute, but the creation of hip hop is a Black American creation, and everybody knows it's a Black American creation because it was not a trace of it on any of these places that these people come from. There was like Impression made the point earlier, and he was correct. If it was such, if because all of the samples, even if you want to be honest, the very first major sample, Sugar Hill Gang, that came off of whose song was that, DJ? Was that a Sister Sledge and them, or who? Chic. Okay. Niles Roger is one of the greatest producers in music history. He produced that. Okay. So I don't know what people are talking about. You heard none of this type of music in any of these places that it supposedly come from. For those of us that's old enough to remember that grew up in the 80s and stuff like that, listen, I grew up in South Florida, and I know exactly the type of music that people were listening to and everything else. I know people say, well, that's not New York and this and that or whatever. Listen, Black Americans was the ones that created hip hop and made it popular and everything. And once it got popular and started banging, that's when everybody started getting into it. Now, that's not to say you didn't have Jamaicans and New Yorkers, Jamaicans and Puerto Ricans up there that, contributed and everything else to the culture and stuff like that. I'm not saying that, but just the actual creation of it is a Black American creation. Okay, this is what King is saying. He said the creation of hip hop is indeed Black American, but not limited to New York. So I agree with that, because you had a lot of people. New York got its culture and music history from the South. The South is the father of all music in this country, Black music, because it all originated down there in the South. Let's be honest. All of the dishes and stuff, the soul food we love, this is all Southern stuff. Our family moved from the deep South, moved from the South, and took the culture and took everything and spread it out up north, Midwest, West, every place else, Southwest, all of this stuff, but it all originates in the damn South. And I don't know why people have a problem admitting that, and unfortunately, a lot of people from New York have an issue admitting that as well, too. They don't mind giving credit to Puerto Ricans and Caribbean people, but when it comes to start giving any kind of credit to the people from the South, they looking at us like we crazy or whatever. Like, what in the hell you think you learn how to sing from, and all the harmonize and all that other stuff as well too? You learned it from your damn granddaddies and your grandmamas and your uncles and all that down south, man. So stop with the nonsense. And for the longest time, even in the 90s, people always looked at James Brown as one of the unofficial kings that got hip hop going and stuff like that. But then people try to play games. Well, it was really rap. It wasn't really hip hop because you didn't have the element of this and that. Listen, the most important element of damn hip hop is rap. Without rapping, you don't have any hip hop. So let's stop the dumb stuff. Well, they wasn't scratching and this and that, and they wasn't beatboxing, and let's stop it. Without rap, rap is the music form of hip hop. It comes from damn Black Americans. Yes, I will go ahead and say that Puerto Ricans, they was there, they were on the scene, they participated or whatever. They did not create it. Point blank. And if anybody got a problem with that, then they just got a problem with it. I mean, hey, that's...
Check this out. I remember me and you the same age. I remember being young. Everybody outside of Black Americans called rap jungle music. I remember that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like I say, that classic scene on Do the Right Thing where you got Radio Raheem coming between the Puerto Ricans and he turned up his boom box, he bumping Public Enemy, and they got the little salsa music going or whatever, and then his boom box blows them out, and they say, "You got it." As he walking around, you know, they talking trash or whatever, but they had to go ahead and pack it in. So come on, man, stop. Like this is, I mean, why are people trying to do this? Real talk. I got to give a shout out to my girl, Miss Trigger, as well, too, for her contribution on Cash App. But on that note, man, we're going to go ahead and end it. Thank you, everybody, for participating in this space tonight. DJ, you say you're going to have a part two, or you're going to have another part as well?
Another part as well? Oh, yeah, because we're going to have to run down this history of our ABUS, Foundational Black American, Freeman Naka, you know what I'm saying, nickel, black history when it comes to this music and what was going on in New York City. So, hold up. I got the space problem.
Yes, sir. And on that note, guys, we're going to go ahead and end it. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace. Everybody be safe and have a good one.